Hey, shalom, brothers and sisters. Welcome back. I thank you again for joining me today. And today I want to talk about a phrase you might have not exactly heard of. Some of you have, but it's called the works of the law. What is the works of the law? Well, I'm going to explain it to you here shortly. And I want to read it from my notes. I was doing some intensive studies and everything, and I want to read this to you about what the works of the law, versus works of law. It's a big difference there. The is not in the last one, but does that make much difference? Well, I'm going to explain that to you in my notes here. And here we go. Please listen along, and any scriptures I discuss, bring up, just look them up yourself. But this is really going to be a complicated thing, because what I'm going to say is about the Greek translation part of it. And a lot of people don't know Greek. I really don't know very much Greek, but anyways, I'll read it right now. In fact, there is one verse and only one verse uh, where Paul actually did write the entire phrase, the work of the law, when he wrote, "For when the Gentiles which do not have the law practice by nature the things contained in the law, these who do not have the law are a law unto themselves, and show the works of the law written in their own hearts, their conscience bearing witness, and their reasonings also, as they accuse or defend one another." You can find that in Romans chapter 2, verses 14 through 15. And that's the only one where he talks about the works of the law. The Greek phrase in verses 15 is to ergon tau nomua, which, when translated into English, reads the works of the law. Here is quite evident that Paul was indeed talking about the laws of Yahweh. In 7 other places where Paul used this term, he did not use the definite article. Rather, he wrote only the phrase ergon nomua, works of law. In all places where ergon pneuma appears, it should be translated as works of law rather than the works of law. Listed below are 7 additional places where Paul used the phrase ergon pneuma, works of law. And the first one's going to be in Romans chapter 9, 31 to 32. It says here, "But Israel, although they followed after a law of righteousness, did not attain to the law of righteousness." Why? Because they did not seek it by faith, but by works of law. For they stumbled at the stone of stumbling. And then Galatians 2, verses 14 to 16. "But when I saw that they did not walk upright according to the truth of the gospel, I said to Peter in the presence of them all, if you, being a Jew, are living like the Gentiles and not according to Judaism, why do you compel the Gentiles to Judaize? We who are Jews by nature and not sinners of the Gentiles, knowing that a man is not justified by works of law, but through the faith of Yeshua Messiah, we also have believed in Messiah in order that we might be justified by the faith of Yeshua and not by works of law, because by works of law shall no flesh be justified." So what I'm getting at here is the mistranslation, work of the law. That's where a lot of these scholars and preachers and pastors, they get the notion that, the law's been done away with. The 10 Commandments been done away with. Now we'll go to Galatians 3, verse 2. This only I desire to learn from you. Did you receive the Spirit of Yahweh by works of law or by the hearing of faith? Then we go to Galatians chapter 3, verse 5. "Therefore consider this. He who is supplying the Spirit to you and who is working deeds of power among you Is he doing it by works of law or by the hearing of faith? Then you got Galatians chapter 3:10. For as many as are relying on works of law are under a curse, because it is written, cursed is everyone who does not continue in all things that have been written in the book of the law to do them. So that was the examples of where it says works of law, not works of the law. And I'm going to discuss the true meanings, what we're talking about when it's the works of law. It's evident in these verses that Paul is including the traditional laws of Judaism in the phrase works of law. So it's a Judaism, the man-made laws, the doctrine, whatever, In Galatians 2, Peter and the others were not following the law of Yahweh, but were observing the traditional law of Judaism to eat separately from Gentiles. Peter knew better because 15 years earlier, when Yahweh sent Peter to Cornelius' home, Peter said unto Cornelius, you know that it is unlawful for a man who is a Jew to associate with or come near anyone of another race. But Yahweh has shown me that no man should be called common or unclean. That's in Acts chapter 10, verse 28. Peter was talking about a law of Judaism, a man-made tradition. Therefore, Paul's use of the phrase works of law includes all humanly devised religious traditional laws of Judaism. Mark chapter 7, verse 1 through 13. It can also refer to Gentile religious rituals and the sacrifices that they offered to their Elohims. Acts 14, verses 8 through 18. In addition, the phrase works of law can include all the rituals and sacrifices under the Old Covenant. Paul wrote that it was impossible for those rituals and sacrifices to atone for the sin before Yahweh the Father in heaven. For the law having only a shadow of the good things that are coming, and not the image of those things which the same sacrifices which they offer continually year by year is never able to make perfect those who come to worship. Otherwise, will they not have ceased to be offered? For once those who worship have been purified, they would no longer be conscious of sin. On the contrary, in offering these sacrifices year by year, there was a remembrance of sin. And sin is a transgression of the law. Because it is impossible for the blood of bulls and goats to take away the sins. You find that in Hebrews chapter 10, verses 1 through 4. But in conclusion, the works of law refers to works of any law, the laws of Yahweh, the laws of Judaism, the laws of pagan religions. Paul undoubtedly meant the broadest use of works of law, which includes all works of all religions. So that right there tells you, and it is kind of, it is tricky because, we don't know, a lot of us, we don't know other languages. We don't know Hebrew, Greek, Latin. There's a good few of us that do. But, the common person like us, we don't know that stuff. And, it takes hard work and diligence and a keen eye to actually, look this stuff up and study it for ourselves. And a very in-depth study, And I try not to, when I do my lessons, I try not to do real technical studies because I don't want to, confuse somebody. I don't want to, I try to do it as simple as I can. And it's kind of hard sometimes to do that. But like in this case here, I think it was important for me to mention this to you. And anyways, that's, just if we all knew the different languages, it'd be a lot easier, but we got to, sometimes we got to rely on the interpreters and translators and everything. That could be dangerous itself because you don't know, these certain people might have their own agendas or something, or might make an error, like a typist error or something, But anyways, I just wanted to share that with you, the works of the law versus works of law. And hope you learned something from this, and please check it out for yourself, and let me know what you think. And please also watch my other videos, and I appreciate if you subscribe and hit that notification bell for more content I'll be getting out here. And Give me a big thumbs up, and I'll appreciate that too. Hey, until we meet again, thank you again for joining me. Peace out and shalom.